Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today I'm gonna be updating my palette crush of the month, which is a project that I've created myself, and it essentially means that you have to use a palette for the whole month. Every single time you do your makeup, you have to find a way to incorporate it into your looks, and it's been really fun for me. I've started in, I think, March. I'm not completely sure. It's either March or April. And this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's our 6th palette that I've been working on this year, and it's been just amazing to really use these palettes, try to come up with all sorts of different ways how you can use them, different looks that you can do, combinations. It's just been fun, and it's good to actually get a lot of uses of your palettes, especially since some of these were from my Pandos palettes, but some were also palettes that I don't have in any other project. And yeah, it just makes you really appreciate what you have. So I really adore this project. But let's just get right into this video. I would also really appreciate if you could give this video a like, comment down below what's your go-to palette that you like to use. And in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially. I love panning, I love get ready with me collection videos. This is a get ready with me for one of my Halloween inspired looks. And it's coming up on Monday, I believe, so definitely stay tuned for this. I have a lot of Halloween inspired looks on my channel from this year, last year, and years before, so very, very fun to create looks like this. And now let's get into the palette crush of the month. So I wear makeup every single day, so for me it means wearing that palette every single day for a month. And for the past month, my palette of choice was the Mini Charms palette from Beauty Bay. I do choose them by myself. I don't randomize or anything. And I chose this because I really wanted to see how much progress I can do on these shades. This is a small 9-pan shimmer palette, and they're all kind of like duochromes, multichromes. It's in my Pandos palettes. So, and I know I'm not going to be able to finish this palette up, but I really wanted to see how far I can get with this. And this is how it looks like right now. I think this shade wasn't there last time as well, but I'm pretty sure that these two have expanded the pan, because I think we had a bit of a pan, but now you can see like the entire middle little square imprint of the pan. I think this one has also expanded a bit because it was a very small little tiny pan. And even this one, because those are the ones that I genuinely used in the past month. The rest I maybe have touched, but I don't think I have any significant uses on these. So last time when I was updating this project, and when I rolled this palette in, it had 110 uses, and how I count that is like essentially how many days I've worn that palette for. So prior to this project, it was used for 110 different looks, and right now we're at 140 since September has 30 days. So yeah, I've used it every single day. Most of the time I use it as a face highlighter. I even use it today also in my brow bone. Sometimes I use it in my inner corner, not today, but sometimes I do. I do that. And I think I took a screenshot of how that palette looked like on my spreadsheet last month, so let me try to find it. I think I should have. I was able to use it 30 times. When it comes to the weight, we were at 63.59 grams, and now we're at 63.36 grams. So I've used up 0.23 grams of product, which is quite nice. These all have 1 gram, so it's like a quarter of an eyeshadow. And since I only use it mostly on my face or in like a smaller capacity, it makes sense. For the amount of uses, so the shade Milky Way, I've used 9 times. We went from 32 to 41. Supernova stayed at 14, so I haven't used it at all. Infinity, I've used 4 times. We went from 24 to 28 uses. Then Aurora has 10 uses. We went from 37 to 47. Cosmic went from 29 to 35, so I've used it 6 times. Then this one, I haven't used at all, the shade Eclipse, so it's staying at 11 uses. The shade Mystic is staying at 6 uses. Pluto stayed the same because I had no eyeshadow left last month. And then this shade called Ethereal went from 11 to 12 uses. I've used it 1 time in the past month. And I think I was able to hit a pan on this one. I think last time there wasn't a pan. So a couple uses here and there, nothing too major. Yeah, sometimes I use this pink, sometimes I use this blue, sometimes I would mix these two together or mix this one with one of these two. That's kind of how I've been using it, because those are the shades that have the most chance of actually being used up. Well, realistically, it's probably only these two, and sometimes I do mix them up with other shades from this palette, so you know, I've been kind of focusing on them more because I would definitely like to get a little bit more progress on this palette before the end of the year, but I know I'm not gonna be able to completely use it up. That's gonna be a task for next year or other years ahead. But I'm still very happy that I was able to use up a quarter of an eyeshadow and get some more uses on this one. This one stays permanently on my table because I do reach for it, not like necessarily every single day. Obviously for this project I did use it every single day, but I still use it most days anyways for my face highlight, because it's not too bright. Like I have some multi-chrome iridescent highlighters that are a little bit more opaque, so I feel like this one is a little bit more like everyday appropriate, and it gives me the uses that I want to get out of this palette, so it makes sense for me to use it like this. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really nice palette. I haven't used it on my eyes too much. I think I maybe used it for like 2 to 3 looks on my eyes, so nothing really spectacular. I think once I'll get a little bit more further into my Pendos eyeshadows project level up, like I found out that I've actually hit a lot of pans this year, so there is a chance, if I'll really try, there's a chance that I could hit 100 pans this year. And if I'll see towards the end of the year that I have a lot of pans and that I'm getting really good progress and maybe even hitting the 100 pans for this year, I might start using these more on my eyes to try to use them up. But right now I'm really focusing on hitting pans because it would be amazing to hit 100 pans a year. Like that's insane. And it would make me really happy. So that's kind of my plan for this one. And when it comes to rolling a new palette, I think I talked about it like 2 months ago or a month ago, I'm not completely sure. But I don't think I'm actually gonna be rolling another palette crush of the month because I'm trying to get a good progress on my Pendos palettes. I have 3 shades from my Christmas Eve palette and then 3 shades from my Liana palette I would really, really, really like to use up this year. And like obviously they're not full, there's just like a couple little bits and pieces of these eyeshadows. So if I'll really try and wear them like an everyday look, I could use them up. But that means that I'm gonna be focusing on these 2 palettes very, very, very regularly. I also want to get some progress on my Project 20 uses, Pendos eyeshadows, Project Level Up, and stuff like that. And it would just be too much for me to also have a palette that I have to use every single day, even if it's just for one eyeshadow. Like it's just too much. I mean, I could roll in my like Christmas Eve palette that has like 3 shades left and just work on that because I use one of the shades every single day for my brows. Like I could do that, but then it feels kind of boring for you guys, since like I'm gonna use that shade anyways. You're gonna see it in my makeup diaries every day anyways, so it just feels a little bit silly. And then there's no other palette that I would actually feel like I would use every day, And obviously this project, like, it only says that I should try to use it every day. Like, it doesn't really mean that something's gonna happen if I'm not gonna do that. But I don't want to roll a palette in when I already know I'm not gonna be able to complete that project. So I think we're gonna stop it here. We still would only get like 1 more month, probably, maybe 2, but like we wouldn't get more than 2 updates anyways this year. So I think I'm gonna stop it here, really focus on my other projects, and then see if I'm gonna continue with this project next year or if I'm just gonna keep my project 20 uses. Because I do appreciate that project a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna expand it for face products as well, and that could give me a little bit more fun and variety, while still completing some goals and projects. I think that's kind of what I want to do next year. Like, I still want to have a little bit of, like, I still want to be able to kind of do what I want, but also maybe getting some good uses on certain products or hitting some pans on certain products. I think that could be like a good medium. But let me know what you guys think and if you want me to continue. I just don't really know what palette I would choose. Obviously, I have some palettes that I could easily incorporate into my looks every day, like the Robert Welsh Divination palette with Blambani. I could use it every single day, either for face highlight, a blush maybe, eyebrow shade, or use one of the shades as an eyeshadow. Like, there's a lot of light shades, there's a lot of deep shades, so I could kind of work that around my pan those eyeshadows and the palettes that I'm trying to pan. That could definitely be a solution, and I think it would be doable, but I would probably only use like 1 or 2 shades from that palette every day. And I do definitely want to use that palette a bit more. I think I'm kind of rotating through palettes that are on my table every day, every week, and I always have like 1 new palette that's from my seasonal collection that I'm trying to nope and left behind. And I do definitely want to get into, and I do want to get into the Robert Welsh palette soon, and that will probably take me like 2-3 weeks to nope and left behind that. But I would really like to like incorporate it into my looks and get a little bit more use out of that one, because I haven't really used it too much since the beginning of the year because I've been using other palettes. So I'm slowly kind of going through my entire collection. I would like to have all my palettes used at least a couple times, so that when I do my makeup collection at the end of the year, I want to be able to say that I've used all of them at least a couple times. I don't think I'm going to be able to nope and look behind every single palette in my collection, because I haven't really been like focusing on nope and left behinding my palettes too much, except for like Pando's palettes and obviously Project Level Up. But I think that's gonna be a rule for me next year. Like, if I'll put a palette into my daily rotation, if I put it on my table, I should try to nope and left behind before I'm gonna exchange it for a different palette. That I think is gonna be a new rule for me, or not rule, but like a suggestion that I would like to follow through. But yeah, let me know your opinions down below. This is gonna be everything for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it likes. Please like this video. Subscribe if you're new here. I would really appreciate having you here. And let me know your opinions down below. So have a wonderful day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow for my makeup news. Bye.